Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress. The next World Championship match will be held in November 2020 between world champion Magnus Carlsen and his challenger, and the qualifiers have started. In early 2020 the Candidates Tournament will be held between 8 players, and the winner of that Candidates Tournament will earn the right to challenge Carlsen for the world title. One of those 8 players is known, that is Fabiano Caruana, the loser of the 2018 World Championship match. And if you want to relive that match, then you can find the link to the coverage on Chess to Impress in the section underneath this video. The 2 finalists of the Chess World Cup 2019 will also qualify for the Candidates Tournament. This will be held in Khanty-Mansiysk in Siberia in Russia later this year. Then one place is for the top finisher in the FIDE Grand Swiss Tournament 2019, which will be held in the Isle of Man. And that is a new event to determine the players for the Candidates Tournament. Then the top 2 finishers of the FIDE Grand Prix 2019. I put it in red because that is what this video is about, because that event has already started. Then one player will qualify by rating and one wild card selected by the organizer, but that also has to be a top 10 player. So a lot of chess to be played between now and the World Championship match. It's a long road for the challenger, as it should be. So as said, it all kicked off. The 2019 FIDE Grand Prix is on the way. There are 4 events, and each player that qualified for this Grand Prix will play in 3 events. The top 2 finishers qualify for the Candidates Tournament. The first event is held in Moscow in Russia and is on the way as I record this video in May 2019. The second one will be held in Jurmala and Riga in Latvia in July. Hamburg in the north of Germany will host the third event in November, and the final event will be held in Israel in Tel Aviv in December 2019. The FIDE Grand Prix used to have a tournament format, but this time they have gone to the knockout format. So both the World Cup and the Grand Prix are now played in knockout formats. 16 players will play in each event, and I will show you the bracket of the Moscow tournament at the end of this video. But first, let's play some chess! This position is from the first round, or the round of the last 16 if you will. The white player is Hikaru Nakamura from the USA, and black is Teimour Radjabov from Azerbaijan. It is the first playoff game. The format is that the players play 2 games with classical time control, and if the score is 1-1 after those 2 games, then a tiebreak is played on the 3rd day. And this is the first game of the tiebreak. 2 tiebreak games are played in a rapid format of 25 minutes per player plus a 10-second increment per move. If the score is still equal after 2 rapid games, then the players move to blitz games, and if after 8 games the score is still equal, then one Armageddon game will decide things. But this is the first rapid game between Nakamura and Radjabov. This is the position after the 33rd move from Nakamura, knight f3 to h4. White is slightly better. If we do a body count, we can see that material is equal. White has some pressure, but black is solid. Radjabov played king f7, f4 from Nakamura, king e8, and f5. Here Radjabov played e5, and this move opens the gate too much. Queen d5, and Grandmaster Yufa in the live broadcast said white has the initiative but black is still solid. But then he changed his mind. He said it's risky for black, and his co-commentator Miroshnichenko said it's just bad. White now has very dangerous play against black's king. Queen e3 was played by Radjabov, looking for counterplay against white's exposed king, but this doesn't work. The black queen cannot do enough by herself, and we'll see Nakamura will find a nice hiding spot for His Majesty the king. Nakamura played knight g6, and in the live broadcast they quickly looked at queen g5, but then there is rook c2, threatening mate in a few moves, starting with rook c8. And black is not going to survive this. So after knight g6, Radjabov immediately took on g6, h takes, threatening checkmate in one move with queen g8. And now the black queen is going to give checks. hoping for a perpetual. Queen f4 check, king h3, and queen f1 check. You can also try and deal with the checkmate threat in one by playing king f8, but that doesn't work because then white goes to the other side. Queen a8 check, rook d8 only move, and this is checkmate. So the white queen is threatening to harass the black king on both sides of the board. So back to the position, king h3 with that checkmate threat. Queen f1 check was played, king h4, and queen e1 check. But now the king finds a hiding space on h5. And Grandmaster Miroshnichenko called this brilliant and fashionable. I've never heard a move being described as fashionable. Nice word. Black only has one more check on h1. That would be checkmate if that square was not covered by white's queen. So you could say, can we play rook takes d6 here to deflect white's queen, and then we give checkmate ourselves with queen h1. But unfortunately for black, everything goes with check. Queen f7 check, king d8, there goes the rook, king c8, and checkmate in a few more moves. I will show you. King a8, and this is checkmate. So there is no time for queen h1 checkmate by black. So after the brilliant move, king h5, Radjabov resigned. And here we see the handshake, Radjabov on the right, extending his hand in resignation. We see that king on h5 and the queen on e1 is powerless. The black king will soon get checkmated. The second game fragment I want to show you is from another match between Wesley So from the USA and Jan Krzysztof Duda from Poland. They had quite an eventful match. Duda won the first game of the classical time control. So hit back in the second game, so they also went to a tiebreak, and this is a position from the first tiebreak game. Wesley So white, Jan Krzysztof Duda black. The position after the 33rd move from white, rook d1 to b1, protecting the pawn on b2, which was attacked by the bishop. So it's the first tiebreak game, a rapid game of 25 minutes plus a 10-second increment. Rook c6 from Duda, bishop takes e4, winning a pawn from So, and here a very nice move, bishop d4, really a grandmaster move, not retreating the attacked rook, but eyeing up the f2 pawn, and also if the bishop takes the rook, then this rook on e2 is unprotected. That's a proper grandmaster move, bishop d4. So did not take on c6 yet, he played knight f3, attacking this bishop. And now Duda thought he had a tactic. He played bishop takes f2, and for a second it looks very good, as if white takes with the king or with the rook, then the bishop on e4 is hanging, and black has his pawn back. But there is one flaw with this move, which is very, very pretty. What black should have done instead of bishop takes f2 is either retreat at bishop, for example bishop b6. Another option is knight takes e4, which was given in the live broadcast by the grandmasters, and then knight takes d4 and rook c5. White has an extra pawn on f2, but will find it hard to win this. But bishop takes f2 was played, and that is a blunder. Double question mark. The refutation is bishop takes c6. That's a full rook, but rook takes e2 wins that rook back. And now the bishop is protected. All looks good for black. But then, very quickly, Wesley So played bishop takes b5. And now black has a problem. The rook has to keep protecting the bishop, but can only do that from one square, which is c2. And then white can play bishop d3 immediately. And now you can see that this rook has no squares to keep protecting the bishop. So he will lose a piece, but white can do it even better. After rook c2, he can play bishop takes a4 first, win another pawn, attacking the rook, rook e2, and then a very nice move, bishop d1. And again, the rook is attacked, cannot go to d2, cannot go to c2, cannot take on b2, has to leave the second rank, and then this bishop will be lost. The king will take it on the next move. Very nice tactic. And this picture tells a story You can see the bishop on b5, So has just taken on b5, and Duda has now seen what he has done and looks away from the board in disgust. So what to do? Black is going to lose a piece. Duda played rook e3. There goes that piece. King takes f2, rook b3, attacking the bishop. The bishop just took a pawn. If we count, then we see that white is not only a piece up, but also 2 pawns. Knight e4 check, king g2, and black has a tactic which doesn't work, and Duda did not play it or did not see it. He must have been very upset at this moment. Rook takes f3 is a nice tactic, because if you take it, we have a lovely knight fork winning the rook back, and then black has won his piece back. But after king e3 and knight takes b1, this is still a totally lost position for black with white's 2 extra pawns. White is winning here. After king g2, Duda did not take on f3. He played his rook back to b8, and he should have resigned here, but he must have played on out of frustration. Bishop c2, knight d6, b4, so is just pushing his pawns. Rook c8, bishop b3, rook c3, and pushes another pawn. And here Duda saw that there was no way he could continue the game. He's a piece and 2 pawns down, and here he resigned. A picture from the handshake. So has just played a4, and Duda reached out his hand in resignation. This is a bracket from the Moscow Grand Prix. We started with 16 players, and as you can see in the first round, Dubov defeated Giri, Nakamura defeated Rajabov. We saw a fragment of that match. So beat Duda, as we saw. Grishuk beat Karyakin, Nepomniachtchi beat Aronyan, Wei Yi from China beat Yakovenko, Svitler beat Vitigov, and Wojtaszek beat Mamedyarov. In the quarterfinals, Nakamura beat Dubov, also after a tiebreak. Grishuk beat So, Nepomniachtchi beat Wei Yi, and Wojtaszek beat Svitler. So, as I record this video, we are at the semi-final stage. An America versus Russia clash, Nakamura against Grishuk, and Russia against Poland, Nepomniachtchi against Wojtaszek. The qualifiers for the 2020 World Championship are on the way, and I will make sure to keep you up to date on what's happening on the Chess to Impress YouTube channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and please leave a comment. If you like the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.